Hello, and welcome to the Hypno Travelers on the Magical Psyche Highway podcast. That's right. Your host and tour guide is Scott Prevett, a healer, hypnotist, and a magician. And your bus driver is Jason Gobelli, also a hypnotist, an entrepreneur, and a spiritual guide. Disclaimer, neither Jason, Scott, or any of our guests here today are licensed professional psychologists or psychiatrists. So please don't make any changes to any medication or treatments that you are currently on based on the conversation that you hear here today. Just hop on the bus and enjoy the ride. Trip with us on the Inner Revelation bus. That's right.
Hi, I'm Jason. Welcome back to the Hypno Travelers on the Magical Psyche Highway. We're so glad to be here. We got a great guest today, don't we, Scott?
Heck yeah, you guys are in for a treat.
That's right. We're going to Reedley, California. We got Laura Mercy. Laura, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Wonderful. We're glad to have you here. We're grateful to drive down your Magical Psyche Highway. So let's start right off the bat. Who are you and what do you do?
I am a Reiki healer. I've been in spiritual practices my entire life. So that's just something that I've always involved myself in, and I've always, strived to grow in that area. So I am a healer. I facilitate light language sound sessions with Sounds of the Light out of Clovis, California, and I do other things as well. Yes.
So talk about this. What is light language and what is that all about?
So light language is something that, from my experience, it's something that I basically relearned at the age of 6. And I learned it once again through meditation, through prayer. When I would connect with source energy, that was something that came through to me. And it was something that was basically channeled through. And I feel that it's a universal soul language that any of us can tap into and utilize. But it's a language of spirit and how spirit communicates with us to our heart and to our mind.
Nice. So it's spirits through actual lights.
It's through sound. Whenever I would receive messages in that language, there was sounds that came with it, an actual language, as well as emotions tied to it, images, mental images. So a lot of it is not able to be really translated accurately into like English, because a lot of it has to do with, like I said, emotions and mental images that come through.
Well, we know on your image today, you got quite a light coming from behind you. So that's kind of a spiritual aura coming from.
Yeah.
So talk to us about this. So these emotions and that you're dealing with, do a lot of it come from like trauma, or do they come from all kinds of different places?
Yeah, So are you meaning I have some trauma that I worked through during
I'm
these
just talking
healing
about when
sessions?
you're working with your clients or anything. Is that what trigger it, or it just come from natural other sources of emotion as well?
I think a little bit of both. I do have traumatic experiences that I've experienced in my life, and I think that sort of pushes you more toward spiritual evolution, because you're kind of striving to work through your own things, and so in that journey you're able to work with other people's trauma a little bit better. But the emotions that come through are just kind of channeled. I'm able to tap into what people need, and I just kind of guide spirit to allow them to receive whatever they're needing at the moment.
And when you find out their needs, is this something that is revealed to you, or is this something that they just tell you, this is what I need?
It's something that is revealed to me, as well as people can open up to me and tell me exactly what they need. But the way that spiritual healing usually works is that whatever it is that their soul is needing at the moment for their own growth and their own healing through the facilitator. And basically, we just hold a high level of vibration so that they can tap into their own natural healing system, because healers don't really heal. It's more like holding a vibration so that person can do what they naturally would do if they were vibrating higher. So usually I just hold that higher vibration and just channel through, and whatever it is that they need is what they will receive.
Nice. So you're reading the vibrations.
Yes.
Right on. So you could take care, just for example, you could say, oh, can you do this in person, or can you also do it online?
I can do it online. I can do it in person. Energy is what connects all of us. So it can be done from a distance or in person.
So do you read these frequencies and energies all the time?
I think I do. I mean, I think that's just how I naturally am. I really feel like I don't think about it too much because it's just kind of how I operate.
But it's emotional, so you can feel it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Nice. So you could sit there right now and say, man, Jason, you need this by your energy, and Scott, you need this.
Possibly. Yeah, I could tune into.
Wonderful, wonderful. So is there any way that you can sit there and you see that maybe someone would be resistant to that, to showing you that energy? And what's that look like?
Yes. So if I were to tap into somebody's energy, and I felt like there wasn't a clear flow between me and them, I could sense that they were blocking some of that and possibly not ready. You have to be ready to receive and willing to receive the energy that you need. So some people are not really there yet, and you can definitely feel that when you're working on them.
So when did you have like this aha moment? Like, wow, I can feel the flow of energy coming from people, and I can actually help people with this. I mean, when did all this come down, and how did that happen?
Oh my gosh. So it's interesting. A lot of people say they've had like a spiritual awakening within the last few years, but that hasn't been the case for me. I've been on this type of journey since I was very young. So I've always kind of tapped into energies. And when I was super young, I was practicing meditation and astral projection and things like that. And as I grew into my teen years, I started really seeking out spiritual guidance from my guides. And I would have these extremely profound experiences where I would go and visit my guide, and then he would give me lessons. He would teach me different things, or maybe it was more like a relearning experience because your soul already knows all of these things. So whenever you learn them, it's just kind of a relearning. And in those series of experiences, I was able to learn Reiki, and I didn't know what it was at the time. So a lot of this has really come to me naturally just by seeking over the course of my life.
So you said you went to your guide a couple of times. So who are your mentors, and who do you get your inspiration from?
So as far as I know, I have two guides that have been with me for this lifetime. One is a man, one is a woman. And it was a man that I was getting all this instruction from. I don't know his specific name, but they come to you in whatever form is going to be comfortable for you. So when you go and you do a visual journey, and you see your guide, they are going to come to you in the way that would make you feel the most safe. So he looked like a wizard, but I was also a kid. And that's how he would come to me. The other one looks like some sort of celestial being. She is all silver light. She has long silver hair, big luminous eyes. She almost has this look like she's young but old at the same time. And I did pick up on her name. It is Agnelia. So I have those two guides that work very closely with me, and have been for a long time.
Nice. So these are guides on the spiritual realm.
Yes.
What about on the physical plane? Do you have people that you look up to, mentors that have guidance on the physical plane as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I have a lot of friends that have been there for me along the way. In particular, a man named Bill that I met just a couple of years ago, and I'm sure you've met him as well. He has been a wonderful guide to me, and sort of a brother figure, father figure. He is quite a bit older than me, but he's really, really been there in the sense of a physical guide here on Earth. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. So what you're dealing with light, you're dealing with energy, and you're dealing with emotion, and you're doing a lot of readings when you do this, correct?
Yeah.
And feelings.
Yes,
So it seems to me like everything that's going is kind of on a combination of an emotional, spiritual level.
yes, I would say so. Mm-hmm.
What's the correlation? Does it also connect with the body? And do you notice that there's physical suffering or pain that goes behind some of that stuff, that anxiety and things like that that are coming through
Oh,
this?
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So the way that I see everything is that everything starts in spirit. And so whenever you have energy blockages, the way I see the energy body is I can see the chakras in my mind, and I can see these channels that run from the top of the head down to the feet. The smaller channels that carry the energy throughout the body, sort of like the capillary system in the body carries the blood. So there are little channels that carry the energy, and then the larger chakras that sort of draw energy in and also circulate it. So it's sort of looks like an organ system to me in a way. Everything that we have that manifests in a physical format, disease, anxiety, fears, anything like that, it first starts in the spirit. So it does start in the energy, and it has to be there for a while before it even manifests into the physical body. So whenever you do healing on an energetic level, you're really tapping into the source of the imbalances in the physical body.
Yeah. So you started this and you started seeing these things, you said at 6 when you were doing meditations and stuff. Did you know of chakras and auras, or did they start to realize, or did you learn those from other people? I mean, did it come? What's that like?
I could just kind of, I could see it in my mind, whenever I would tap into that time right before sleep, I would, I didn't really know exactly what I was doing because I was so young, but you don't have a filter system on the brain. So the brain just picks up whatever it picks up. And so I was really able to tap into the energetic body when I was really young, and I would just see it in my mind. And then I would have experiences later on where people would describe the same exact thing that I was seeing. So it was kind of really interesting validation for me that these experiences are universal, and they are real, and we wouldn't be having the same experiences if they weren't 100% real and universal.
So Laura, is it a gift or a curse?
I would say it's a gift.
Okay.
100%.
100%. Nice, nice. So let me ask you, you have kids of your own too, don't you?
Yes.
So how are they attuned?
My son is on the autism spectrum, and I do feel that he sort of sees everything in a vibrational sense. I think he just views the world much differently than other people. So he is very tuned into the natural world.
How old is he?
13.
13. Nice, nice.
Yeah.
So is he attached to spirit guides, and does he feel these things and have these senses as well?
I'm not sure. He's not completely verbal in the sense that he can have a communicative back and forth conversation. So I'm not sure, because he wouldn't be able to really articulate those things to me.
Nice. Do you have any other ones?
Yes, I have a daughter who is 12.
Nice. What about her? Does she follow in mom's footsteps?
To some degree. You know, she's not like avidly trying to meditate with me or anything like that, but I think that, you know, that's not every some people really want to get into that, and some people are more interested in other things. She's not so interested in it. She just really likes doing her art, and that's what she's really focused on. But yeah, she's wonderful.
That's nice, because most kids are focused on video games.
Yeah, she doesn't play. Yeah, she doesn't play video games.
Anyway, so it's wonderful. Now let me ask you a question. So one more here. So you got these things that you're doing and all these different modalities that you're working with and everything. Do they kind of like all blend together?
Yes, I would say so. I mean, with the light language, it's really wonderful that I'm actually around safe people, that I'm able to facilitate using that, because I always kept it to myself. And with the Reiki healing as well, you just have to be in the right community, I think, to be able to, you know, totally use those gifts to the fullest degree. And then whenever I write or I post anything on Instagram or social media, I'm always trying to use my own experiences to teach people they need to know on their journey. So it all kind of works together. All of these experiences integrate together to, you know, to facilitate healing for others. So super
I
grateful.
noticed one thing you said, that if you needed to be in a safe place. So you have dealt with people where the energy is just not safe then, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I always kept this, all of this was really kept close to my heart my entire life. Up until just a couple of years ago, I started meeting a lot of people that were like my tribe. I call them my tribe. I started meeting a lot of safe people. And that really brought all of this out. And but before then, I would have never even talked about this kind of stuff, because it was just something that was sacred to me, and I would just keep it close to my chest.
Nice. Okay, Scott, your turn. I've been hogging the show. Why don't you go with ask Laura a few questions?
Sure. So, and when you have a client come to your and come to you and for a session, do you use tools in your sessions, or do you just, is it conversational?
I do use some tools. I do have some conversation as well. I like to use just stones and things like that. I usually intuit what they need, and then I pick from my collection and I have them hold them. So because I feel that everything holds a vibrational frequency, and stones hold specific vibrational frequencies that can accelerate the healing process. And I use things like sage and Palo Santo to, you know, cleanse the areas as well.
Where do you get your stones? How do you collect them?
They've come from everywhere, to be honest. They just come to me. I usually just receive them as gifts, which is really interesting.
Not from penguins, right? That's not a.
I do have some penguin friends.
They have a habit of giving stones as gifts.
I call them my penguin. I call some of my friends my penguins.
That's funny.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the intuitive side.
Well, Laura, let's go into this a little bit more. So your plans, where do you want to take this? Do you have any goals, or where you want to go with this?
I do. I would absolutely love for my healing and teaching to just be what I do with myself. So that is and has been a goal for a long time for me, just because it's something that comes naturally to me, and it's something I feel safe doing now. So I do have some plans to start posting light language healing videos on YouTube and things like that. But I'm just always looking for ways to expand.
Are there any books in your future?
I would love to write some books. Absolutely. I've been mulling that over for a few years as well. And I'm kind of waiting for that inspired action to hit. So I can just knock it out really fast, because I feel like whenever it's the right time, it'll just happen, and it'll happen really easily. So I'm just trying not to force that, but I think that's coming too. Yeah.
Sure.
I always believe that the best time is now, because
Yeah.
when we postpone things, we never get them done.
I know, right?
So that said, do you have any ideas for any classes or any things like this? Or you said you'd like to show other people. Do you have a plan?
I'm just going with the flow. I'm trying to do as much as I can. So if any opportunities come my way, I just jump on it. I haven't really planned any set classes, but that is something that I'm open to doing in the future.
So Laura, when you have the light, the vision, when you're connected with the spirit and you have your spirit guides, can they direct you down your path more, so that way you can better see where you should go? Is that a good way to express it?
Yeah, absolutely. So the kind of information that I would always receive from source, because I would receive insight really often when I was young and throughout my life. So they just give you like the next step, kind of, or some insight, or more like advice and peace. That's what I would feel from it. Most of the time, my guidance system would say, you'll know when the time is right, and just keep yourself open to things, and don't try to force anything to happen for yourself. And so I would just kind of try to work on releasing control and surrendering to the process, and not being impatient with it.
So your guides, do they have a next step for you?
That is the next step, to stay open, basically,
Okay.
to look for any and every opportunity to just.
So you've learned a lot over the years. So what would you tell that little girl when she first started talking and praying and meditating? What could the adult Laura tell that little girl today?
That I would finally step into my purpose at some point, and I would meet my people.
Nice.
I felt really alone in the whole thing when I was really young. So I was like, I had all this pressure. Like I was receiving these messages, you need to do what you're supposed to do here. And I'm like, okay. Just guide me in that. But I felt very alone in that as well. So I would have told myself that it would be okay. I would find my safe people, and I would step into my purpose.
Scott, you have any questions? Any other questions?
A couple. What does a standard client session look like for you? Can you give us
Usually
an
I
example?
just guide. So if I'm facilitating Reiki, if I'm just doing a Reiki session, I usually have the person get really comfortable, seated or lying down. I walk them through a quick meditation, grounding meditation. I really like the meditation that grounds you from above and below. So I usually do that one with them. I put some calming, relaxing frequencies on, and I just have them breathe and continue breathing throughout the session. And then I usually just start with the crown chakra, and I work my way down through all the chakra systems. And then I kind of scan and see what areas are in a lower vibrational state, and I'll focus in on that.
Cool.
Nice. So, Laura, I got a big question for you. How do our viewers get a hold of you?
Oh, how did you sorry, you cut out for a second there.
Okay.
So I'm on Instagram under Laura, and I'm on Instagram under Laura_Mercy_art if you're looking to view my abstract art. And on Facebook, I'm under Laura Clement, which is my maiden name.
Laura, is your art healing as well?
Yes, it actually is. My art is abstract, but it's also channeling emotion. And I try to channel emotion, and I try to channel energy into the art. So yeah, I would say it is definitely Reiki infused healing art.
Is it also inspired and guided by your spirit guides?
It is.
Nice.
I have visions of my pieces during meditation. So I've received a majority of those and then tried to paint what I saw in my mind. Yeah.
Nice. Scott, any other questions?
Oh, Laura, thank you so much for taking your time out of your schedule and spending it with us today. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's been a joy.
Laura, do you have anything else you want to add?
I think I covered it. Thank you, though. Thank you for having me.
Not quite, because we're not few yet. We're not
Okay.
yet, because we got the big question.
Okay.
The final question to leave with our viewers. What are your words of wisdom to give to our viewers?
What are my words of wisdom? I think knowledge without action is nothing. So if you have knowledge in something, you have a passion about something, you should take the guidance to put it into action and allow it to work through you so that you can give your gift and your unique purpose to the world.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Wonderful. So, Scott, do you have anything else you want to add?
I'm good.
Laura, do you have anything else you want to add?
No?
Wonderful. Well, it's been a pleasure traveling down your magical psyche highway. We certainly enjoyed it. It's been great. And for our viewers out there, we're so glad that you were here too. We've enjoyed having you here. We hope you come back next week. If you like us, give us a thumbs up. If you think we're assholes, we don't care. Just give us a thumbs down. We're just glad you're here. Subscribe, follow us. We hope to see you next week. And thanks for coming.
Wow, what a trip. Thanks for taking that journey with us today. Please like us, share us, and enlighten us with your views of the topics we drove into today. We appreciate you and love reading your comments. Thanks again, and we hope to see you back on the bus next week. That's right.